Good evening, students. Now we're gonna learn a little bit how to use Excel. So unfortunately my Excel is in Swedish, but I think it should be fine to follow anyway. So let's say in your case we are trying to figure out the concentration of salt or in carrot cells. So what you had were a number of concentrations of salt, and then I'll do this for salt, salt concentration in percent. All right, and you had different salt concentrations. I'm gonna make some up. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, etc. And then you also had an output variable from all your individual groups. That was the mean mass change. Mean mass change. And that was also in percent, so that you don't get that you have actually comparable variables. Or comparable units. And in your case you had something like an increase here. You had, I don't know, 12% increase, maybe just an 8% increase, and who knows, maybe only 0.78% here. That was stupid. And maybe it decreased here, so you put a minus in front of it, minus 1%, and here was minus 4%, minus 5%, minus, who knows, here it could be minus 10%, etc. Minus 15%. I'm just making this up as I go, and minus 30%. Okay, so now we have all this variable, this is called the independent variable. That is what we changed. So we changed the salt concentration ourselves. That's the independent variable, the one that's going to be on an x-axis when we make a diagram. What we measured is the dependent variable. That it was the mass change of our carrots. So if we want to make a figure now, a diagram, we want to select all this data by holding down the the left mouse button and just dragging and dropping. The next, we're gonna go up here to find what is called insert. For me, it's called infoga. And so we have different tabs here: start, infoga, layout, formula, I guess, data. But we want to go to insert, and then here are different stuff. You can insert tables, images, arts, etc., etc. Over here we have diagrams or figures or charts, and you have if you click this one, you can have recommended charts, and then you can look at all these different kinds of things that Excel thinks you can possibly plot here. So, and but I don't like those. When we have numerical data, we want to usually use these scatterplot. Alright, so now we have a scatter plot which shows on the x-axis the different salt concentrations and on the y-axis the mean mass change. It doesn't say that now, it just has a title which is ugly, so I usually remove those. And we want to add a title here that explains what this axis is, an axis title, and what this axis means. So, we add diagram elements. The way we do this, either pressing the plus up here. If you don't have that, you can go up to the left-hand screen of the window, and you'll find diagram elements here. If it's not showing here, you probably don't have the design tab selected. And here we can add axis legends or axis titles. Axis legends, I think, is going to be, and then for vertical and horizontal, that's horizontal. Vertical. And here we go. Mean mass change in percent. And here we had salt concentration in percent. So now we have a nice figure. I also like to remove all these little lines here because they are ugly as hell. There we go. Now, Cool, we have a nice figure that shows how the mass changes as a function of the salt concentration. Also awesome. Next thing, we need to figure out where this actually cuts to be able to find, of course, the salt concentration of carrots, we need to find the isotonic solution of salt compared to the carrot. And that's going to be where there's no mass change at all. To find this, according to our data, we need to add one of these trend lines. And on the trend line, we can... So there we get the trend line by going to plus and add trend line down here. Now we can play around with the trend line by clicking it. You see that it's marked. It has this little blue dot at the two ends of the trend line. We can format trend line. Let's see. And then we get all these alternatives on the right hand side. And when you select there are 3 tabs, one for effects, like filling and all that. If you go to the last one, that's the real options. You can make it change the underlying math if we want to make it logarithmic or stuff like that. Oh, it doesn't work. Then it said bye-bye. Then I had to add one again then. Okay, let's redo that. We go over here. And then you can add down here, show the equation. Now you have an equation. Yay! With the equation, we can calculate the salt concentration of your carrot by solving this equation for 0. So put y equals 0. So 0 equals minus whatever plus whatever. So just flippity-flop all these things and solve for x equals, or solve for x, and then you'll find your salt concentration. In this case, it would be something like close to, what would that be? It would be 12 divided by 4.1436. That should be something close to 3, shouldn't it? But in your case, it's going to be something different. And then we can copy this little bastard by clicking it and taking either copy or Control-C, and then you go into Word and paste it, and then you will be fine. That's as easy as it's gonna be. So repeat these steps with your own data, and you will have your own beautiful chart or figure or diagram, whatever you want to call it, and you can put it in your report, and I will be a happy teacher. Cool. Then that's it. Good luck. See you on Friday.